I mean, do I really need to say anything?
So, I never really thought I would be doing this, but hello everybody, it's GT Racer 1987, and yeah, this is a second video on the most disgusting Friday Night Funkin' fan, Ethan Hartley. The same guy that made that, like, half-assed apology. The same damn guy that basically talked to minors in inappropriate ways.
Well, he's back, and he's basically decided to throw shots back at me. So, we're gonna be looking at that today. Because recently he made a post basically being angry about a video I made about him, basically calling him out for the disgusting actions he has done. And that's basically the first thing we're basically going to be getting into in this video. So, let's get started. I mean, you kind of saw he doesn't really say much. All he kind of says is just,
okay, I've heard enough.
And I'm gonna be completely freaking honest, like, I'm not even sure if he's even, like, watched the full video, and chances are, like, you know, since he said that, he probably hasn't. I mean, this just really goes to show that, like, Ethan Hartley genuinely does not freaking care about anybody who criticizes him. Like, literally, somebody could literally call him out for his disgusting actions and criticize him on it, and he will genuinely not give a shit. Which is basically more proof that Ethan Hartley genuinely cannot take criticism whatsoever. Now, you might be wondering how this was received. Well, I really don't know how to explain it. On one hand, there are people legit criticizing him for, you know, not being able to take any form of criticism. You know, kind of like comments like these where they tell him to, like, familiarize himself with constructive critique and, you know, pointing out the glaring issues that we have seen before. Now, Ethan Hartley has not really responded to, like, most of those comments, but this one in particular he has responded with, and I'm just gonna read it out.
Well, this time I really mean it. I won't have it any longer, especially since someone copied me.
Wait, we're still fixed on that? Now, for those who don't know the context, a couple weeks ago, somebody went out their way to, like, impersonate Ethan Hartley. Now, do I think it's wrong that they did that? Yeah. But does that, like, justify all the, like, horrendous actions that you have done? No. Like, you legit just proved this third point about, like, how you legit blame everything but yourself. Like, instead of literally taking accountability for your actions, you just go off to blame something else or someone else that has nothing to do with the situation at hand. On the other hand, though, there are still some people that will still go out their way to basically defend him, even though they legit saw the actions he's done that I basically pointed out in that video. And I know what you're probably thinking. Well, GT Racer, I thought you really didn't care about his fans that much. Well, if you thought that, you'd be right. I don't care. Like, I don't care if they're mad whatsoever. They can be mad all they want. But the reason why I point this out is because this basically just goes to show that Ethan Hartley's fans really do not give a shit about the truth. People like Baluch Robert are kind of like prime examples of, like, people who still support Ethan Hartley, even though he's a known creep in this community. Because from the looks of it, he basically agrees with him, and basically, you know, says that he will always agree with him. Need I say more? So, like, Baluta Robert, like, you know how bad this looks, right? Like, do you realize that you are, like, actively defending pedophilia? Like, this is literally just more proof that, like, no matter how much proof you show of Ethan Hartley being a disgusting, freaky creep, or, like, a genuinely bad person, like, you know, the people that support him, they will not care whatsoever. Again, people like Baluta Robert will go out their way to attack anybody who dares to criticize him. Here's an example, and I know I've basically showed this comment before in, like, the first video, but I kind of want to give some context behind it. Basically, Galaxy Adam 19 is basically, like, you know, criticizing Ethan Hartley for the disgusting stuff he's done, and he basically decides to write this stupid shit. I'm sorry, but this is just way too funny. I really cannot take this shit seriously. Like, deadass, he really thinks he's like some Transformers character or something like that.
Creepy crawlers? Roll out. Like, what in the...
Dirty Defenders, it's morphin' time. Like, dude, shut your dumbass up. Okay, all jokes aside, like, Baluta Robert, you can be mad all you want, but you gotta realize you're actively defending pedophilia, and that's just, like, really gross.
Okay, so I found this, and I recognized the character on, like, the right. I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be Messiah the Gamer's like BF Recolor OC, and this is Balucha Robber going out of his way to demonize Messiah the Gamer because he doesn't like Ethan Hartley. That is some crazy work. Like, he literally doesn't like Ethan Hartley, so you go out your way to demonize him in your shitty fanfiction. Oh yeah, and there's this. For some reason. Now, of course, what Ethan Hartley has done is like 10 times worse. This is still pretty creepy in a way.
And then there's this, where I guess he's basically shipping himself with Fashion Girlfriend. Yeah, things are getting a bit weird. Oh, and I forgot to mention that this is 100% stolen fan art.
So I guess Balucha Robber is just going out of his way to, like, you know, steal random people's fan art and then making shitty recolors of them and then claiming it as his own.
Like, I guess he's trying to say that he made these pieces of artwork when he didn't, and it's clear as daylight that he didn't. This is not his art, once again. This is just some recoloring made on his MS Paint ass software. And then there's, like, also this, I guess, and it's just... why? Now, as I stated in my first video, I'm pretty sure that Fashion Girlfriend might possibly be a kid. And keep in mind that Ethan Hartley is 23. So, this makes this pretty creepy. And chances are Balucha Robber might possibly be around my age range or a full-grown adult, so it also makes this pretty disturbing as well.
So yeah, pretty strange individual, I'll say that. But like, you know, let's get back to Ethan Hartley because, can we also talk about how he's literally trying to play the victim card too with some other person?
Like, let's read that first reply.
Yeah, this guy's just making fun of me.
Which... yeah, I did crack a few jokes about you, especially with the post talking about some
simping nothing.
But that's not the only thing I was even doing in that video. I was also calling you out and criticizing you on your disgusting actions. Like how you made a half-assed apology and then a bit later, you did the same weird shit that you apologized for, basically indicating that you're not sorry. She basically asks why, and he's just like,
Because he hates me for the things I did and won't forgive me, that's why.
which, first of all, there is a good reason why people like me, Cool Minions, FNF Fan 102, Rainbow, Messiah the Gamer, and Gentle Ghost, and many other people in this community do not forgive you. And I don't even need to explain why. And in case you do need me to explain, again, the half-assed apologies, you doing the same shit over again, and you just trying to gain sympathy from people. And two, of course I'm not gonna like the things you have done. Like, what you have done was super disgusting. Like, I'm sorry I'm not like your creepy-ass friend who actively supports you for doing this shit. Like, you think I'm going to like you for doing these weird-ass roleplays? No, of course not. Oh, speaking of roleplays, can we talk about this for a second?
Like, after a few days of my video being out, you went back to doing the same shit that I've basically called you out on before. Like, it's crazy to me to think that I've basically called you out on this shit before, but you still go on to do this anyway. Oh, and keep in mind that this Friday Night Funkin' Neo BF kid is like 13 years old. And, in case you forgot, Ethan Hartley is 23 years old, which just makes this extremely creepy and disturbing. Like, seriously, Ethan Hartley, like, I genuinely do not get your mindset. Like, you do realize, like, you're only making it worse for yourself.
Also, a little side note, that this Friday Night Funkin' Neo BF kid that was, like, making these weird-ass posts basically deleted these after being called out, because he thinks,
Oh, well, maybe if I delete this stuff, I can basically get away with it.
oh, god damn it, Al. Which, of course, did not work out in his favor, as, of course, you know, Gentle Ghost basically caught on to this entire situation and got the screenshots before he deleted it. But back to Ethan Hartley, you literally trying to act like you're the victim in this situation and that you did nothing wrong. Like, actually. Even though, in that video, I basically literally proved that you are a freaky-ass creep. Like, seriously, my guy, like, no one's buying this. Like, you know, this little kid might believe you, Balucha Robert, some other freaky dudes might believe you, but I can assure you that nobody, and I mean nobody, other than Discord moderators, is going to be buying your bullshit. Anyways, moving on from that, somebody did try to interview Ethan Hartley and ask him why he was doing this weird stuff in the first place. The person in question's name is Mr. Benesser, who's actually made, I think, 3 videos on Ethan Hartley. And I guess somehow, like, he got in contact with Ethan Hartley on Discord, and that's where the interview took place. So, let's talk about it, shall we? Also, a little side note, I'm not going to be reading out the full conversation because, like, 70% of it is just Ethan Hartley whining and complaining like he usually does, and not, like, you know, answering the questions that he's being asked. So I'm only going to be talking about the more important parts. So Mr. Bannister starts us off here by asking why he was talking to minors and doing very provocative role plays with them, in which Ethan Hartley responds with this.
Because they were trying to make love with me and I went with it, but I didn't know about the minor thing back then. Now all this nonsense is happening and I've had enough of it.
Oh yeah, sure, bud. Like, not like you basically start this most of the time. Oh yeah, and also sure you didn't know there were minors. Yeah, sure, pal. And then after that, Mr. Bannister responds with this. They tried to make love with you and you still went with it, not even thinking for a second that they were underage. The second question he basically asks is, like, you know, why he basically makes half-assed apologies. And he goes on to say this.
I couldn't control myself.
Which, yeah, sure.
I still have an internet and stuck together content.
Oh god, I just had a stroke reading that shit. Now I'm gonna kind of do like a little bit of a quick rundown because Mr. Bannister kind of already pointed this out in his videos on Ethan Hartley. But basically he has this like weird ass fetish where it's like two characters getting stuck together. I don't even know what the hell that is. I'm pretty sure he's also pointed out that he basically has a gotcha heat and glue fetish. And I'm pretty sure Ethan Hartley's even admitted that to somebody in his comment section. Which, Ethan Hartley, I don't think that's glue.
And I'm a GF sample.
Oh, we know you're a GF simple, alright. Considering I'm pretty sure you got Friday Night Funkin' Neo BF to basically make some ship art for you. And also, we can't forget about the classic post of the GF simping method. Okay, I gotta stop.
But ever since I got framed, I haven't been doing much of it. So it's a rare moment now.
Okay, we're still fixed on a... Once again, bringing up an entirely different situation that has nothing to do with the current situation at hand. Great job, Ethan Hartley. So that situation, which, by the way, is irrelevant to the current situation at hand, is like the reason why, like, you know, he stopped doing shitty apology posts. Like, I really cannot make sense of this whatsoever. Because it's not like that person is gonna make another alt impersonating you, making half-assed apology posts herself. Like, I don't think that's gonna happen. So here is the last screenshot I basically have for you for this entire conversation. And basically, Ethan Hartley responds to his message here by saying,
I didn't really do it a lot. I guess maybe when I'm bored or something. I don't know.
Okay, I'm getting two completely different reasons here. So it's either A, the person you're talking to starts it all and you just go with it, or it's B, you're just bored. So, like, which one is it? And also, he says that he doesn't really do those weird role plays a lot. Well, if that's the case, then, like, how come this happens so often? Like, it's not too often, but I feel like it's like every month or two, I get some form of new information about him doing some weird stuff. But yeah, that's kind of how it went down. Again, I'm not really showing the full thing because, again, it's just Ethan Hartley, like, complaining and whining for, like, 70% of the conversation. I guess there was also kind of, like, a beef that went down between, like, you know, Ethan Hartley and Mr. Bannister because from what I've heard, he basically decided to report Mr. Bannister for some reason. Now, like, do I agree that he's made a bit too many, like, you know, community posts about you? Sure. He could have just taken some of the evidence that he's got and tried to squeeze it all into, like, one post. And I think he could have took a break from talking about you. But the fact still remains that anybody, including Mr. Bannister, can basically, you know, talk about you and criticize you on your disgusting actions. Like, it isn't wrong for somebody to, like, criticize someone else for doing something disgusting. Like, those people that you call haters, they're not doing anything wrong by criticizing you for your actions. And of course, as long as they don't, like, do something that, like, goes too far, then, you know, it's completely okay for anybody, including Mr. Bannister, to talk about you and, like, the stuff you have basically done. But yeah, that was basically the entire thing that went down between Mr. Bannister and Ethan Hartley. And speaking of people that don't like Ethan Hartley, kind of wanted to talk about this post for a second. Cause, like, what in the hell even is this? Okay, so let's break this down here. So I guess we got Ethan Hartley here on the right, and we got some other devious-ass version of him on the left. And can we take a moment to, like, read this dialogue right here? Well, the most hated person ever. We finally meet.
Huh? Who are you?
Someone you don't want to mess with. So wait a minute, is this character supposed to be based off on, like, how Ethan Hartley thinks his haters act? If so, that is actually so goofy. Now let's continue with this beautiful dialogue.
I don't understand. Why are you here? To make sure you stay in your place. Permanently! Okay, I don't know who you are, but I won't get away with such evil That doesn't even grammar. We'll see about that. Until then, I'll see you later, loser. The mysterious enemy disappears through a black portal. Who was that guy?
So I'm guessing Ethan Hartley has decided to make his own goofy spin on the Goku Black arc from Dragon Ball Super. Oh my god, like, dude, and I thought that this version of Ethan Hartley, like, Dark Ethan, was basically the Goku Black wannabe of this universe. But I guess I'm wrong, because, this guy decided to show up. I mean, just think about it. Look at the both of them, like a side-by-side comparison. They do look similar, right? I mean, at this point, this Joe Schmo is probably going to pull off something like Super Saiyan Rose, and Ethan Hartley's going to have to pull out some, like, I don't know, some epic and ultimate, like, hidden form we have never seen before, and use the GF simping method as a Kaioken boost on top. The fuck?
Now, at the time of recording this, he actually gave his character a name. Now, this character's name is Damien, and I did a little bit more digging. And apparently, according to Ethan Hartley himself, this character is supposed to be based off of, like, Derek from, like, Cool Minions' like, F&F series. Which, I'm sorry, I don't see it that way. Again, I just see this as, like, a knockoff Goku Black or something like that.
Now with that out the way, can we just talk about how he's being extremely ignorant? I mean, no surprise that he is. But, he's basically saying some stuff like, I'm not like that anymore.
And of course, this isn't a one-time thing. I mean, just look at these screenshots here. I mean, like, sure, pal, sure you're taking things more seriously. And you want to know what's funny? He tried to do that same shit to me, too.
So, for a bit of context, me and someone else were, basically talking to Ethan Hartley. And then, when I kind of decided, like, step into this entire conversation, he basically pulls this.
I'm not that person anymore. I don't want anything to do with this talk. If Vanny and Isaac are hearing this, then they should know how serious my face is right now.
So, first off, like, if you weren't that person anymore, then, I don't know, then, why were you doing this? And secondly, I'm pretty sure Isaac and Vanny could care less about how, quote-unquote, serious your face is right now. Also, at the same time, they're completely irrelevant to this conversation. So I don't know why you insisted on bringing them up when they had no correlation to this conversation. Also, thirdly,
I'll show them that I can become a better person,
which... okay, go off then, Timmy Tough Knuckles. Which, speaking of Isaac and Vanny...
I'm doing the best I can for that, especially knowing that I would like to reunite with Vanny and Isaac.
Yep, I'm not even joking. He is still pursuing this goal of, like, regaining the trust of these two people that don't even like him.
Now, you may or may not have watched my first video, but I did point out in the first video that this was one of his goals. Basically, trying to reunite with Isaac and Vanny and get the trust back. And basically pointing out how this doesn't work, and it still does not work to this day.
And the funny thing to point out is that Isaac, or Cool Minions, has actually watched my first video and has agreed with what I had to say. Oh yeah, he's also roasted you in his comment. That was actually a pretty decent insult, I'm not gonna lie.
Also, according to this comment, apparently this guy and Vinny have been harassed by Ethan Hartley because Ethan Hartley basically wanted these two to do some weird video idea for him, which is basically, that weird stuck-together fetish that he has. And I can for sure say that this is a good reason on why, Isaac and Vanny do not trust him. And I can agree, if I were requested to do some weird fetish stuff for him, I would have been pretty creeped out.
Okay, so let's get to final thoughts now. Basically, Ethan Hartley, of course, is still the same chronically online loser that he is. It's pretty much clear to me that Ethan Hartley has not watched the full video because he assumes that I was just making fun of him in that video. When that's not the case, I was also giving constructive criticism. Also, with him trying to play it off as if, like, he was the victim in this entire situation and he did nothing wrong, is just really stupid in my opinion. Considering in that video, I've literally shown evidence of, like, why Ethan Hartley is not a good guy. And that entire conversation between him and Mr. Benisser is just, like, I don't even know if he's being truthful, because, like, at first he says, like, the people he's talking to are, like, the ones that start those weird zesty role plays, and then goes on to say, how he basically does those zesty role plays because he's bored. again, like, which one is it, my guy? Balucha Robert is pretty much a toxic douchebag who meat writes Ethan Hartley anytime, like, you know, he gets criticized. And also, he can be a bit creepy at times. I mean, again, despite, you know, this not being as bad as what Ethan Hartley has done, because he definitely has done worse, you know, this is still creepy in my opinion.
And that entire thing where I guess, you know, from what I'm getting from this, like, image here of him basically just, like, antagonizing somebody just because they don't like Ethan Hartley is just pretty dumb, to be honest. And the entire thing where he's just stealing people's fan art and, like, recoloring them and then claiming it as his own, like, just, like, what are you doing? But yeah, I know Ethan Hartley's probably watching this video. There is a possible chance that he is, so I'm just gonna say this. You can be mad all you want, but remember, you've done this to yourself, and you're only digging yourself a deeper grave. Like, I don't know why you insist on fighting back when I've already proven to multiple people that you're a person that cannot be trusted. Like, you're still the same strange and creepy dude, and we all know very well that you're not gonna change, considering a lot of the recent stuff I've pretty much heard about you.
Hey, stop being like this towards Ethan Hartley. He did nothing wrong. Just let him do what he wants.
No. You shut the fuck up, pedo lover.
Like, don't start acting for a second that he is the world's most greatest hero.
When you saw how he acted, you saw the freaky stuff he's done. But yeah, if you do see Ethan Hartley show up in your comment section, whether it be his main channel or his alt, then I highly advise you to report him and hide him from your channel.
Cause there's literally no point, and I mean no point in replying to him if he's just gonna be making up obvious lies. But yeah, I guess it was about time that I cooked him again in supersonic style.
But yeah, hopefully this is like the last time I ever talk about Ethan Hartley. Because, you know, this was supposed to be kind of like, you know, a final nail in the coffin thing. You know, a little final battle, if you want to put it that way.
I mean, unless he does something, like, so extraordinarily stupid that I just cannot help but to, like, cover and talk about it, then this should hopefully be the last video on Ethan Hartley. Because I know you're probably getting sick and tired of hearing about this guy at this point. But, you know, to Ethan Hartley, to Balucha Robert, please just go outside and touch some grass. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. If you did like the video, then you can hit the like. You can subscribe if you want to. I'm not going to force you. And I guess I'll see you in the next video.